What is up, Murktides? Twinless Twin here again, and we're going to be playing some matches against Yawgmoth. We're doing a deep dive on this, so you should definitely check that out and get in that Nimble Pilfer tier. But I'm going to record some of these warm-up matches as well, just because I think, the more content, the better. So let's do it. This seems really interesting. I think that Ragavan and Spell Pierce are both pretty questionable cards, and it's a one-lander. What I like about this hand is, there is some potential here. If they don't have a 1-drop, for example, or if we hit that second land, this hand is really, really strong. I think on the play, I might try it. On the draw, it's a definite mulligan, just because, this Ragavan is so dead. And the Spell Pierce actually does cover some ground occasionally. But, this hand is one where maybe we're supposed to bobble ourselves, and if we see a land on top, we actually don't play the Ragavan. I think we're just priced into playing Ragavan no matter what, though. So in that case, we just want the info from the opponent on what they're going to be drawing. Help plan our turns. Alright, they're drawing a Pendelhaven. Not a lot of information there. Notably not a forest to work around the Blood Moon. Alright, Bolt isn't bad. If they have a Halfling, we can actually clear the way for our Ragavan. Just really hoping it's not Yawgmoth. Haywire Might, fine. I mean, it's embarrassing to Lightning Bolt a Haywire Might, but we're going to do it because we need that land drop. Okay. Interesting decision here on if we want to use our Unholy Heat or Lightning Bolt. I think pretty much I always like to keep Unholy Heat. It can, it's a bit more productive, I'd say, later in the game. Killing Yawgmoth, killing, stuff like that. Let's get rid of this. I'm not sure why this is here. Alright. So yeah, missing that land drop, not ideal, but still in really good shape if we just, rip a fetch land here, to be honest, so. It was really just we needed, if they had Yawgmoth and our bauble didn't hit a land, plus our draw step, then we're in really bad shape. But otherwise, I felt like this hand was serviceable. I'm kind of expecting Bowmasters here, so that's unfortunate, but yep. Okay. Looking for a fetch land, and we will definitely slam, or an island, just any island. Producing. Okay, that sucks. So interesting spot here. I think what we're supposed to do is play bobble and pass. So if we cast the iteration, the awkward thing is we're kind of far from using the Blood Moon. What I like about passing here, oh wait, okay, no, we do have Delirium, so the Pendelhaven on Bowmaster won't save it. I just want to make sure if we have to counterspell something, we can. I'm fine taking the 2 points. What I'm hoping here is they have a Wall of Roots or something, not Grist, so that we can just shoot this Bowmaster. Yep, perfect. I mean, the Wall of Roots makes green, so is there any chance we just want to? Okay, I think what I want to do is bobble myself here, because actually that's going to give me more information on how I want to use this Unholy Heat. Spell Snare. Well, alright, that definitely resolves. Alright, we're definitely going to convert the Spell Pierce on the Soul Cauldron here. Spell Snare on top. I'm just not sure how we want to proceed. We have the Bauble trigger. Can we afford to let this go through? I feel like the upside is high enough because if we do rip the land below the Spell Snare, we just get to slam the Blood Moon and be in really, really good shape. Come on. Alright, the one lander is not paying dividends here. Now I'm wondering, I think we're just supposed to cast Iteration, try to find like 2 lands off of it. Okay, okay. I think Unholy Heat to hand is actually going to be the move here, though. Playing the Spire Bluff, because we really wanted an island as one of those lands. I'm not as interested in, like, a Surveil land, so I'm going to take Unholy Heat to hand and... Oh, ooh, undo. Play the Spire Bluff Canal, and then we're hoping, you know, we can get something going here. I guess the risk... Maybe I was meant to shoot, like, the Wall of Roots there to avoid a Chord of Calling, but they could still, like, just have a land drop Chord for 3, so actually not that impressive. Alright, they do get in, so it's not going to be... And pump with Pendelhaven. So that kind of tells me they don't have Yawgmoth. I wonder how careful I need to be with my life total here. Maybe I am supposed to shoot the Bowmasters. The punish is like if they have another Cauldron, it's pretty bad. Alright, I'm going to take... Just in case we, you know, get a chance to Spell Sin or something here. The basic is going to be brutal too. That sucks. Kind of wondering what they have. Chord seems like a possibility for sure. I actually wonder if I'm... Like, they don't have... maybe they do have an Endurance main. I mean, I think we're just going to sit on the counterspell now. This turn. And then we have the option to, like, Brazen Borrower on end step if they don't do anything impactful. They're probably just fetching a Dryad Arbor here. Mortuary Mire, looking for something. Yeah. I mean, we still know this Blood Moon is going to be really good if we find a basic. That puts some urgency on, like, using the counterspell, I guess, because otherwise we'll be locked out of using it, but ultimately not too worried about that because of how strong of a lock piece this Blood Moon will be here. Alright, I think that this is a must Spell Snare. If they go for something like Yawgmoth, I'm not even that concerned. We can just Unholy Heat it. If they go for Grist, they get a 1/1, and we can just Unholy Heat the Grist. But really what's most important is we just need to find that land, that fetch land, or island. I'm kind of hesitant to use the Unholy Heat. We could Borrower the 2/2 at some point. Alright, Grist. Okay, Grist. Mill the Swamp. Eroding Catacombs. Alright, let's clean up this Grist. I guess the question here is, if we slam Blood Moon, they fetch Dryad Arbor, how does that work? So, we Blood Moon them, they attack for 4. Then we go to 3, we Borrower, they take 2. seems a little bit dicey to Blood Moon here, honestly. But giving them a draw step is also kind of dicey, and we're just taking 3 anyways. Alright. It's a Blood Moon angle, and then we're hoping to draw basically one of our creatures for 1 mana or a removal spell, and then we should be able to stabilize, I think, but this is by no means a sure thing, and it's just kind of, you know, the hand was really close, but we just weren't able to... I think they should be out of Swamp, so actually milling that Swamp is like super relevant because it's going to cut them off of a lot of their cards, like a lot of their potential draws. It's just Dried Arbor, I think it remains a creature, but maybe not. And I think if it comes into play afterwards, it's not a creature, but I think if it comes into play before, it is a creature. A mountain creature, maybe? We'll have to see, but I believe it's a mountain creature. Alright, come on. Big draw step. Wow. Alright, we hit, so... Bounce your army. Heat your Dryad Arbor. I mean, to be fair, I would love to Unholy Heat Wall of Roots there, but we're just under too much pressure. This game got really weird. I wonder if maybe we were supposed to just iteration, but... The Bolt is another good hit. Let's spin the wheels on this iteration. Alright, Borrower to hand. We find the bolts. So, I think we're supposed to take one. Just because if they draw Delighted Halfling, it's a really big problem. I think that taking one is fine. I guess Yawgmoth is the flip side to that, right? Like, maybe we want... So maybe I'm wrong. Alright, now we can bolt this. Now let's just get this Wall of Roots out of here. And, now they have, like, 2 forests, I think, in their deck they're drawing towards. We have 2 islands, but we also have... Oh my god! Okay. There you go. There you go. Now I think we are unfavored. We can't even, like, draw Ragavan anymore. Okay. That was really bad. Now, like, a lot of their draws are live here. So, seems like they're not hitting yet. I mean, if we do draw an island, we'll be in really good shape. A devastating play from our opponent, the Yawgmoth. Probably gonna kill us. Yep, and we're dead. Excuse me. Okay, well, I mean, I think that Blood Moon might have worked out in other situations, but maybe it was a bad keep. So I'm kind of tempted to board in a lot of cards here. These are the cards that interest me. Like Dressdown kind of does, but not as much as these other cards. So the question is, what can we cut then? So I think that first things first, I want to cut my Murktide Regents because of Pick Your Poison plus Gris. It's just so hard to stick the Murktide. I'm okay cutting Ragavans. I still like to cut Spell Pierces. So that's 8 out of 12 cards. Now things get a lot harder to make cuts. But I think that something I want to try at least is cutting the DRC. So we basically have almost no win cons. Is this ever going to work? Just like a total control deck. I don't know if this is gonna work, to be honest, but I think it's something I want to try, so let's give it a try. Like maybe with the answer is we still want some Murktides, but those interfere with the breach, and maybe the answer is we want some DRCs as like finishers. And we could even like breach back the DRCs at some point if they get killed or Pick Your Poisoned. All right, let's keep. I guess the problem, right, with this plan is like the Underworld Breach isn't gonna do much if we haven't dealt any damage to our opponent. So thinking that part through, this plan might just totally suck. I'm pretty happy with both of these. I guess actually using the Bauble is smart there. Maybe, yeah, actually, I think that Halfling is such a problem there that, like, bottoming one of those might be smart. But they didn't have the Halfling, so we got pretty rewarded. And then maybe using the Bauble also would have been smart, just because, like, Bowmaster considerations. And also just, like, finding a removal spell for Halfling. I think like bottom Spire Bluff and then top this and then use the Bauble might have been our best play. There's a Halfling. Now the awkward thing is if they flash Bowmaster, we actually, I think, have to let it resolve maybe? Okay, good thing they don't have the Bowmaster. You definitely have to counterspell this Halfling. And then we're hoping to fade Soul Cauldron. Should be a problem here. Yawgmoth is fine. Ooh, and they kept a one-lander. Wow. Well, that makes me really tempted to go for Expressive Iteration, finding a removal spell. But maybe the more disciplined play is to wait a turn. Like, they can't actually go very far with this Ignoble Hierarch, and we probably can just, like, keep holding up, you know, Counterspell, and then Subtlety, and then eventually Expressive Iteration after seeing some more cards. So, it is really tempting to go for the Iteration there, but if we just, like, hit a Scolding and a land, like, we're not very happy. So basically we actually don't have a ton of hits that we're, like, excited to use at that point. Alright, Bones. You know, our house cat Bones gets really excited about Murktide content, so he's, like, excited that we're recording right now. There he is. You can see his tail. He says, "Find the lightning bolt." I can't see. This kind of feels like we're going to get Bowmastered and then something else, but really tempting to subtlety this. The issue is if they have grist, and then they follow up with the grist, because they draw land. I think it's okay to... Is it okay to take that risk? Soul Cauldron would also be annoying. But if we let this resolve, we're falling behind on board. If we counterspell, like, are they actually not going to jam their stuff? So I think we should just use the subtlety now, because we have, like... I think that we want to counter this Bowmaster. And I also think that, like, next turn we're probably casting an iteration, looking for a removal spell, and then we can still have counterspell up, so it's better to just use the subtlety now. If they have the grist and they draw land, then so be it. I think that's kind of the spot that we were in. Okay, buddy. Soul Cauldron. Also kind of annoying. You can make the Delighted Halfling, or you can make the Yawgmoth a Mana Dork, a Delighted Halfling, which is concerning. Definitely looking for some action off of this iteration. So if they go for the Ignoble Hierarch, I guess we'll have to decide if we want to kill that. Spellcinder's not going to get us very far if they have just uncounterable stuff. So I'm going to take the Bauble to hand and exile an Unholy Heat. Then I'm going to Bauble Trick myself, get some info. Maybe use the fetch land. Keeping in mind I'd probably still want to hold up Counterspell next turn, but... maybe even bobbling the opponent is better there. I think I'm just gonna shoot this. I'm okay with the bauble on top, I think. Am I? Maybe I'm not. I think I am. If they Bowmaster us, it's actually kind of good. We can counterspell that, even though they have the Halfling. The nice thing is if they do try to power up their Yawgmoth, we at least get to like kill it with one removal spell because of the Undying Clause. So. Bones cam. Bones are short for Bone Crusher Giant, obviously. Okay. You can grist me. It's not great. But again, if they do grist, the problem is the Yawgmoth is just not going to come back, right? So there's a real cost to that. So this grist is kind of low performing, though putting it under the cauldron is also pretty strong, so I think there's... Yeah, we're in trouble here. I actually think plussing, yeah, makes a lot of sense from them. And of course they mill a grist. Wow. Oh, brutal. Brutal, brutal, brutal. Soul Cauldron is very good. Alright, let's bubble ourselves. Take a little look. Stern Scolding, not what we need here. I actually think maybe fetching the Surveil Land has some value. Oh boy, that's some audio from my roommate, sorry. Topping this. But of course, okay, let's preordain a lightning bolt. Is lightning bolt good enough here to actually keep? And I can shoot their Yawgmoth, but is that how I'm winning this, or do I need to like find? I feel like I need to find the Brotherhood's End or cast into the fire right now. I'll put it on the bottom. Alright, we should find land. Okay. Bones is getting on my keyboard. He says, give up, it's over, you're gonna lose. You've only drawn lands. Oops. Sorry. Alright, the Unholy Heat. I still think... the plan here is probably holding and then looking for the Brotherhood's End. Like, I don't really see... There's no value in Unholy Heating any of these one specific creatures. They have 5 cards in hand. So basically what our plan is going to be is to... Alright. I think I want to counterspell this. Because I do need Subtlety to kill Grist, and then once I can find... Yeah, so I want Subtlety to kill Grist, and then find a Sweeper, and then I have... Yeah, so the Brotherhood's End is definitely necessary. I almost wonder if 2 copies would be good. If these are the types of games that we're going to commonly get into, then the Brotherhood's End is like pretty uniquely positioned to be really strong in this matchup. I've also heard people say they bring engineered explosives. My list has no engineered explosives right now, just because I find it pretty narrow in this meta. But that maybe that's another consideration. What's happening? Endurance? Oh boy. I mean, the Brotherhood's End still probably trades off the whole board, so if we find that, it's a really good draw. Maybe the Brotherhood's Ends are also more productive in, I mean, the thing is, if they have a Yawgmoth, it's just so unproductive, right? But if we can, like, keep the Yawgmoth off the table, well, with the Cauldron, right? Yeah. I'm okay. Well, okay. We technically do have like one more draw step here, right? We'll attack Grist, and then we're gonna just Unholy Heat this Endurance. I guess now their Grist is gonna go above 3 toughness, so we're gonna need to maybe flash our Subtlety anyways, just to keep up with the Grist or keep the Grist off the table. Why not eat our Subtlety? I guess where this game could have gone back to is, like, did we actually need to stop the Bowmaster, or could we just have held up the Subtlety / Counterspell? Because the Cauldron resolving was really devastating. So that's a point where we have to consider. Like, with double iteration, it does kind of feel like, looking back on it, it feels like maybe we had chances if we just had waited, but that's hindsight. Like, the Grist actually might not have been that devastating. It was specifically that. Okay, so let's flash this Subtlety in. Doing that because we need to hit the Grist before we Brotherhood's End, assuming we draw the Brotherhood's End, which is a 1-of, so we're probably just gonna die here. But if we do, this is the best play. Oh, wow. I think we're still behind here, unfortunately, but that's a pretty awesome draw. I won't lie. I'm very sad that our Subtlety is going to die and that we had to flash it in there. But I'm very happy that we're living. Very happy that we're living. It's kind of our only out, so that was a draw. Oh no, they have Court of Calling? Oh man. We're cooked. They just they have this like onboard lethal because they can just make this Yawgmoth undie and then kill us. And we just have lands. Okay, well that was a good match. I think that there's still some thought that needs to go into the sideboard plan here. Like, clearly, I mean, I don't think that you can actually, like, for example, an Underworld Breacher would have just done nothing. So let's go ahead and get into the deep dive. I'm going to talk about it with Paiganti, see what his perspective has been. I know he's been testing that. And we'll talk with NJ, they're our Yawgmoth expert, see what their perspective is. And we're going to crack this matchup, guys. All right, see ya.